AI agents and hotels. How are hotels using agents? How are they using AI? What are agents? How is this all going to come together? Is everyone going to lose their jobs, or is everything going to be super cheap? What's going to happen? No one really knows. That's not completely true. We have a pretty good idea what's going to happen, and I'm going to show you right here, right now. So let's get into it. The Brilliant Manager, the ultimate double edged sword. Look, these agents can do a lot. As it says here, we can dynamically price different rooms just like that without even, like, you have automatic tools that are pricing your rooms, but this is a different level, I promise. You can route housekeeping. You can literally give housekeeping cleaning room list. You give them their sheet based on time now, not how many rooms they clean. And you can anticipate all of a VIP's guests' needs without even looking at it. This could tell you right there, everything's going to be done for them. Well, I just got to show you. I got to stop getting into that. But the hacker with the keys. There are real vulnerabilities in this, and we're going to discuss it. The 2026 reality is that the exact same manager can blindly click a malicious link and hand over your password to your agent, which many of these agents have direct access to all the passwords. So if the hacker has access to the agent and the agent has access to the passwords, exactly. Anyway, let's move on. The illusion of AI deployment. A lot of people are saying they're using AI. 98% of hotels are claiming they have begun using AI technology. Only a third have actually embedded AI across their core operations. Using ChatGPT to draft emails is not really using AI in your operations, is it? No, it's just writing things for you in a container. That's all it's really doing. To get into the real AI deployment, to actually do things for you, you need agents. And that's why they're in pilot purgatory. 73% of operators are completely overwhelmed, abandoning isolated tech pilots the moment they break. So, adoption, everyone knows this, right? No one wants to adopt the new technology, especially as fast as it's coming out now. I get it. You probably have 20 different software tools, right? But this really is another revolution here. This is the next coming of the internet, the next coming of smartphones. This is the AI revolution. Why are we going backwards? All right. 2024 intern versus the 2026 general manager. So before you're just using generative AI, right? And that's the Chat GPT writing emails for you. It's a nice tool. It's a nice assistant. It's an intern, and it brainstorms for you. That's all it does. Now, 2026 general manager is an agentic AI. It is a general manager. It is a fully empowered executor. It's really powerful. It can do a lot of stuff, but that's also what gives it the vulnerabilities, because it has access to your PMS. It has access to all your tickets for your maintenance. It has access to your email. It has access to your calendar, right? Because it has to have access to these stuff to use them. So on one end, it can automate everything and come up with use cases you never even dreamed of. But on the other end, if one person gets a hold of it, they have access to your whole hotel. Ready to get scared even more? Now, here's the real problem plaguing the hospitality industry, right? The messy PDF trap and the digital Frankenstein. I like messy PDF, right? So you probably have a lot of BEOs And they're probably not even properly typed up. Like a lot of hotels I know will literally have BEOs that are maybe even handwritten. You print out a piece of paper and you handwrite them and then you scan them so that you have it, right? That is such bad data. It's so bad. And it's if that's where most of your data is right now and what we call messy PDFs, it's going to be a really hard transition for you. You need to start moving on that now. Because what happens when you start plugging in these agents is that when you get all this messy PDF data over here and you feed it into the AI, it can't use it, right? And then you get a bunch of hallucinations over here. For example, if Sarah is hosting some wedding party at your hotel, and in the BEO it says nothing about a vegetarian food option, but Jill calls your hotel, or no, messages your agent, or calls your agent, could do either one, and says, hey, we have this event coming up at your hotel, and I'm a vegetarian. Do you have vegetarian options for me? And your agent tries to go and look up that BEO and reads it, but it can't read it. It can't read it because it's just a written, scanned upload that is not readable for agents. The problem with how AI works is that it doesn't go back and it doesn't tell Jill, sorry, I don't know, I can't read this file. No, it uses its baseline data that it's been trained on by either Anthropic or OpenAI. It's like if you just ask ChatGPT on the website, will my wedding have vegetarian options? And it's going to say, yes, there will be a portobello mushroom option in your wedding. Is there one? There isn't. But because it couldn't read the file, it had to make its best guess. And that's how these things work. Now, if it could actually read the file and it saw a list of items that will be served in the wedding, it would have known for sure that there is no vegetarian options. It would have told her, no, there is no vegetarian options, but we do have all these options. And that is a real problem for hotels right now in the coming agentic AI era. Oh yeah, I'm just flying forward on accident here. Okay. Step 0, you cannot hire a digital librarian first. You cannot hire a digital librarian without first building the shelves and implementing the data hygiene. I mean, this is a great analogy. Like if you have this huge, amazing library, right? But no librarian. You're like, well, I need to use this library. I need a librarian. So you hire a librarian. And the librarian gets there, and there's shelves everywhere. Like it's a real library, but for some reason, all the books have been taken all the shelves, and they're in one giant pile in the middle of the library. And you say, hey, I need an answer to this, or I need this book. I really like this book. She's not going to be able to find it, is she? She's going to have to put all the books on the shelves, implement the Dewey Decimal System, and then, only then, when all the books are organized correctly, do you have a great librarian and a great library ready to go. Same thing here. Okay, enough of that. I kind of hung on that for too long. So, the end of tab juggling. The internet you knew is dead. 80% of travelers now prefer AI assistants for end-to-end trip planning. This is actually one of the fastest growing areas or use cases for consumers is trip planning with AI, because it actually works really well. And it's pressuring hotels to implement agent-to-agent negotiation. So basically, the user talks to their agent, says, hey, I want What's a good prompt? I want to go to Florida, but I want to be on a beach. Let's make it like if within a 15-minute walk to a beach. And my budget is $600 for 3 days. And I need 2 beds. And I want it to be on the first floor. Oh, and make sure there's plenty of curtains so that the room stays dark. You can literally prompt agents to do that, and it will scour every hotel website and look for hotels that match his description. So imagine him doing this right here. Where's my mouse? There it is. That's the prompt he's giving the agent. He's talking to it. It's like, this is what I need. It's going to go out. It's going to handshake here with the booking AI for a hotel. It's be like, hey, I'm looking for all this. Do you have all this? It's like, we have these things, but not those things. It's like, okay, thank you. And it's going to keep looking for different hotels. And whatever hotel can meet that criteria of his prompt is going to get the business. Especially when these agents start getting purchasing power, which they are getting more and more purchasing power every day. The moat is becoming less and less marketing and paying off booking.com. And it's actually describing the experience of your hotel, which is so great. We'll get into more of it later, but you literally just put all your amenities in your description of your hotel and you plug it into the MCP server, the Model Context Protocol, and these agents can just look at it instantly and see if it fits the guest. No more paying Google, no more paying Booking, no more getting a bunch of OTA commissions or paying them off. This is the future. And schema.org is at the center of it, right? So it doesn't mean too much. I'll kind of get what this is going for here in a second. The AI checklist. An AI agent explicitly scans for hidden JSON LD tags from schema.org, marking attributes like EV charging or pet policy. It doesn't read marketing copy. Marketing copy doesn't mean anything to these agents, right? And based on how many tags you have for schema, and these tags can be anything like I said, it's EV charging, pet policy, room types, number of beds, number of floors, swimming pool, fitness center, how large is the room, does it have a stand-in shower, walk-in shower, does it have a bathtub, how many sinks. There's so many things you can put in here, guys. And the more you put in here, the better score you get on Hotel Zero. And that's literally all it is, though. It's just adding things about your hotel to these JSON LD tags to get a higher score on schema.org. So when these agents come by and talk to your hotel, they see you have a high score, so they stop and look at your hotel. But if you don't put them all on here, you're going to have a ghost hotel, which is what this is displaying over here. You can have $1 million chandeliers, but without structured data, you do not exist to the algorithm. And these agents are just going to pass over your hotel. Literally invisible. And this is what I was talking about. You cannot outmath an algorithm. There's no trickety tricks anymore. Things like member loyalty is even going down because these agents, they just calculate the value of the member loyalty into the user's budget and into their prompt. And it just weighs it into what they want. The member loyalty is just a number now. It's going to die out. But it brings so many new opportunities. Attribute-based pricing. Hotels win direct bookings by unbundling the physical space into individual purchasable data points. This unbundling thing is huge, guys. The bespoke experiences. ABP gives the A2A API, and that's agent to agent, where the agents talk to each other, the exact puzzle pieces needed to build a unique, highly customized human experience that OTAs cannot replicate. This is huge. Hotels are going to start getting a lot more direct bookings again. OTAs are going to be pushed out of the picture. Yeah, transaction loyalty is dead. I already touched on that. A machine instantly calculates the exact value of traditional loyalty points and optimizes them right out of the equation. They want a high floor? $15. Base room? This is literally the only thing they're paying for with the room rate now. It's just the base room. Everything else is an upcharge now. You can put a quiet zone. Put something on the wall. Some foam on the wall. Quiet zone, $10. Distance to the elevator. You want a certain distance to the elevator? $5. You want it further away from the elevator? $10. You know, depending on what they like. You can charge that however you want. Some people like either or. I guess the ones not far or not close are probably going to be the ones not charged. But on the other end, you're probably going to charge them. But yeah, there's 1,000 different things you can charge for now. Because when they put in that detailed prompt, the agent can look for all these options. And then it'll come back. It's like, hey, this hotel has everything you want, but it also has this corner room with this specific view. Would you like that for another $20? Be like, yeah, I want that. Instant, easy. There's no friction anymore. You can just upcharge everything. And it's a good user experience now because the agent's doing it all. And now we're getting to the back of house stuff, right? These agents are basically air traffic control for the back office. It provides dynamic housekeeping. AI dynamically reroutes staff by cross-referencing IoT, which is Internet of Things, door sensors with guest demographics to calculate exact turnover times. Now that's a mouthful. What does it mean? So, see these red zones over here? It knows that there were families staying over here, right? And it knows that it was used a lot. It knows there's a family there because you can track that in the PMS, right? 4 people staying in the room. We know that. But what the PMS doesn't know is that this is kind of a weird graphic. Are they doing like 4 rooms or something? I don't know. Why did they come out this way? You get the idea. Pretend this is one room. And over here is one room as well. This one red room, they know that the door opened 127 times in 3 days. What does that mean? That means that the room was used a lot for a family. And that also means that the housekeeper is going to spend a long time cleaning the room. It also knows that the shower was ran 17 times during that time. It also knows that the TV was on for 72 hours. That means it's on maybe not 72 hours. You know what I mean. It also knows that the cabinet doors were open 34 times. And the fridge was open 76 times. I'm just making up numbers. They probably don't make any sense at all. But you get my point. It knows everything about the room. And because it tracks so much data, and it gets so much data every single day, it will know exactly how long it should take to clean that room. Now, of course, it does vary by housekeeper. But it gives a very good estimate of how long it will take to clean the room. And because of that, it can assign rooms to housekeepers extremely efficiently, saving a lot of time. No more juggling housekeeping sheets for all your housekeepers. Predictive maintenance 2.0. Oh, and it knows this one's a single traveler over here, right? Because you know it's one person in your PMS. It pulls that. And also knows that the door only was used 4 times during the stay. So that's going to be a really easy one. Okay, predictive maintenance 2.0. The Internet of Things sensors. And by the way, if you don't know Internet of Things, it's literally the Like the keyless entry, you use your phone on the doors and it unlocks the doors. That's an Internet of Things device. That door is connected to the internet, so it knows how many times it's opened. And then you can put these detectors on everything, like I'm about to explain here. It detects an AC fan drawing 2 amps instead of 1.5, predicting an 80% failure probability in 48 hours. Sorry, I'm talking too much, starting to slur my words. But it knows it's going to fail. 80% chance to fail. And as soon as it sees that it's drawing 2 amps instead of 1.5 amps, it will automatically order the part. Over here, look at this. Self-healing infrastructure. The AI automatically generates a PO, orders the part, and schedules the mechanic while the guest is at the spa. Because these agents, they just talk to each other. And then the agents with purchasing power, like I was talking about earlier in the beginning of this, back here, when this guy's agents have purchasing power, works for you as well. Because now your agents automatically order these parts because it knows exactly what part's about to go out. And then it'll be at the doorstep, and then it'll ping your mechanic, say, hey, you need to use this part on this room. There's a high likelihood that it's going to go out any day now. How amazing is that? Hilton's $1 billion algorithmic HVAC. So Hilton did something pretty amazing. They saved over $1 billion by abandoning building-wide thermostats for minute-by-minute, room-by-room AI control. So they stripped out all the little thermostats that all the customers and guests complain about. And they just used algorithmic weather integration. I swear I cannot talk today. I should have got a drink before I started this. One second. Okay, that's better. I'm not used to talking this much. Okay. But yeah. So then they just applied algorithms and used predictive heating. Literally saved $1 billion on AI algorithms. How amazing is that? And now when you start applying your agents to fix all these little robotic tasks everywhere, what it does is it actually frees up your hotel staff to do hospitality. Who likes it when you get, one of those front desk clerks chicken pecking at the keyboard on a slow computer trying to just get them checked in when they could be getting to know the guests and being hospitable to them, using empathy, like preserving empathy. Look at that. You want to automate the transaction and you want to preserve the empathy and the hospitality. You want to make it human again. Get away from the computers and the screens. Like, we have robots inside the computer called AI agents that can do that now. Let your humans be humans. That's the beauty of this. Oh yeah, right, I'm just going to glance over this, but NLP soft skills screening. Resumes are scanned using natural language processing to detect collaborative, I think that was a little mess up there, versus authoritative communication patterns, protecting the host culture. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but what it's basically saying is it scans resumes for you because every hotel is insanely understaffed now, as we all know. So we're all always looking at resumes, but this uses natural language search on all the resumes you have. And it compares the way that these people write their resumes and how they handle problems and how in their job titles, and it compares them to other resumes with different outcomes and uses an algorithm based on how they write it to figure out if they will be a good employee or not. I don't know as much about that specifically, but it is a really cool use case that I think has a lot of potential. Ooh, yeah, the scary part. The shadow AI explosion. The rise of OpenClaw, which is an open source personal AI assistant. I talk a lot about OpenClaw on this channel because it is extremely powerful. It is the most powerful AI software you can implement right now. But it's very tricky because there's a lot of security hurdles you have to jump through. But it can be done. It takes a lot. Because it gives you God mode access. Employees loved it because it could read emails, run terminal commands, and access local network drives to automate workflows. The ticking time bomb, the exact architecture that made it brilliant personal assistant, made it the most dangerous enterprise vulnerability of the decade, right? So it has access to everything on your computer, which makes it very powerful, but also very vulnerable, as I was talking to you, like near the beginning of this video. The one-click exploit. So this was a major, to be fair, this doesn't exist anymore, but this was a major exploit on OpenClaw, right? You click on a phishing email and it literally gives a key direct access, the auth token, yeah, right there, to the malicious user on the other side. And the problem with this is that once this guy has access, is this backwards? Once the bad guy has access to the AI, your AI has access to everything. All your passwords, all your logins, everything on your computer. Which means he indirectly has access to all that. All he has to do is ask the AI, hey, what's on this computer? What can you give me? So kind of a scary vulnerability. Let's just keep going for now. We'll get to why later. The authorized user paradox. Keys to the vault. As I said, the malicious user now has the keys to the vault. So if the employees... Oh, I didn't even talk about what shadow AI is. So shadow AI, right, is like shadow IT, if you've heard of that. This isn't AI that you've implemented directly into your computer yourself in your hotel or your business. This is one that your employee wants to put on the computer because they think it's cool and they want to use it and they want to automate all their emails and workflows and whatnot. But the problem is security. So it's a shadow AI because the user explicitly gives the AI permission to everything. It explicitly gives permission to email. It explicitly attaches it to the PMS. It explicitly attaches it to the calendar, and it gives access to everything. And the IT department cannot tell the difference between the AI and the actual user because the user is the one giving it permission. That's shadow AI. And because it has the keys to the vault, it looks like an approved person. And the EDR, which is, just a security term, it fails because it was given explicit permission by a real user. And part of the problem is that there's a big marketplace called ClawHub for OpenClaw where anyone can submit skills. And if you put the wrong skill on your OpenClaw, it could make it vulnerable. This is getting better because it is frontier technology, right? But there are still vulnerabilities like that. Oh, that's the end of the OpenClaw slides. I don't have an emo claw. Okay, so basically, there are ways to fix these problems. It's called sandboxing or putting it in a container where you put them in a container and then they only have access to things that you want to give access to. That way, if anybody gets into the OpenClaw instance, it can't really go anywhere. And you can have multiple OpenClaws so that one doesn't control everything. So it's a very secure setup. And I have set that up multiple times now with OpenClaw. And then all of a sudden, NVIDIA, big, huge corporate company, NVIDIA powering all of AI, is they designed their own OpenClaw. They call it NemoClaw. It's designed for enterprise security, which is they do it exactly the way I told you. But it comes like that out of the box. You don't have to build it yourself. So NemoClaw is OpenClaw with all these powerful features with enterprise-grade security. Pretty cool. I can't believe I forgot a slide for that. Oh well. The global regulatory fracture. Okay, so compliance. Everybody loves compliance, right? The EU AI Act requires explicit opt-in, strict privacy boundaries, and transparent logs for every AI interaction. Oh man, this is so ridiculous that they did this. But every single thing the AI does, it has to log it and show that it has permission to do so. Every single time. And it just slows everything down and creates so much friction. It is a nightmare to deal with. And it's really going to slow that area of the world down as far as growth with AI, which really sucks. But on the other hand, in the Middle East and Asia, it relies heavily on facial recognition and biometric data for invisible check-ins. So they just get the data once, they're good to go. They're in the clear. And just frictionless, smooth and easy. Agents are doing agent things, they're talking to each other, they're booking things, they're making people happy. It's a wonderful world over there. US somewhere in the middle. I think California made some law similar to the EU, but the rest of the country is pretty much good. Okay, so important slide. The 1.6 times total cost of ownership multiplier. Right? So these big agent infrastructure changes, if you actually want to implement these in the hotel, can get really pricey really fast. It's extremely powerful. It can make you a lot of money, especially do it now before everybody else. But there's a lot of hidden costs that you need to be aware of. The hidden 60%. If a vendor quotes $100K year one, it'll actually cost you $160K. Cloud compute. Like these agents, they have to live somewhere. And most people put them in the cloud, right? You can do it locally, but that's a different topic for a different time. So you have to rent GPUs, you have to rent cloud compute to do this stuff. And that is a significant amount of money. Legacy database integration labor. I don't think I've ever ran into a hotel that doesn't have some sort of database integration issue with this stuff. Like it's going to happen. You're going to run into serious issues integrating your data into the agents, but you have to do it. Like I talked about the hallucinations earlier. You don't want hallucinations. And this is how you prevent that. And it's going to cost. Like that initial setup fee is going to cost getting that data cleaned and enriched and making it work correctly. And this more compliance, everyone's favorite thing. You have to make sure it's secure and you have to follow compliance laws. And that often includes real security audits and pen testers to make sure that it is secure. Because I showed you all the crazy vulnerabilities that are possible. You can't have that, and they can cost up to $30K. It's not mandatory $30K, but it can be expensive, especially if you're a big hotel, for sure. Robot mode for independent operators. Now, you can have this huge, awesome $300,000 custom multi-agent build. I love them. They're a lot of fun. They're pretty cool. But you can get started for $100 a month, guys. You really can. 80-20 rule. Like a small boutique hotel, you can get rid of a lot of the robotic work. Free up your staff. Let them do hospitality. Start implementing some basic automations with AI agents that save you a lot of time and free up your staff. There's platforms that do a lot of this stuff out of the box now. Cloud native platforms. Muse or Hospitable have AI natively baked into the core architecture. These things, they work out of the box. You just got to take the time. I know, another piece of software, another technology to implement. But this is the technology you implement where you stop dealing with technology. So think about that. I mean, not forever. You will still deal with technology, but it makes it less technology. The 3 non-negotiable vendor questions. Okay, so these are the questions you want to ask vendors when they start selling you these complex AI infrastructure systems. These are the questions you want to ask them. Can it write to my PMS? So if it doesn't write to the PMS, if they don't say yes, it can write to the PMS, you're basically buying a chatbot, right? Back on the 2024, you're buying the intern back here. If it can't write to the BMS, you're buying the intern. You don't want the intern. You want the agent, the general manager with full power. That's what you want. And that's what this question gets out of the way. Can it write to my PMS? And how do you sandbox WebSockets, okay? So this was that container, right? When you get OpenClaw, you can put it in a container. And that's what NVIDIA with NemoClaw built into it, is sandboxing WebSockets. That is the core of the security for these agents, is putting it in these sandbox containers. If they do not understand OpenClaw container isolation architecture, stop talking to them. You need to get them to explain how they sandbox WebSockets. If they start brushing it off or backing away, move on. Seriously. What is your protocol for model drift? So model drift is, it's hard. I don't even know if they really understand why this happens. But agents who are doing a lot of stuff over and over again, they keep doing their thing. They go straight up like this. And as they go, they start to drift. And they start going this way a little bit. And then they go this way and this way and this way. And then you realize, like, they're not even doing the same thing anymore. That's what model drift is. And you have to put in guardrails against it. You got to keep it going straight the whole time. So if they do not continuously retrain on fresh data, the AI will decay and hallucinate uncompetitive rates. So these are the 3 biggest issues with AI agents in the hospitality space. So these questions will get 80% of the way there when you're talking to people to implement these agents for you. Screenshot this, save it, look at it later, ask these questions. It'll help. Are we designing hospitality for humans or the algorithms that book them? Interesting question, isn't it? Right now, we're definitely still on the human side, but we are quickly approaching the algorithms. The end state of A2A, human travelers rely entirely on personal algorithms negotiating with hotel algorithms in milliseconds. Algorithms. The optimization loop. Algorithms are optimizing physical world attributes simply to please the digital algorithms that score them. The question? At what point is human preference being mathematically simulated rather than actually served? I'm not giving you the answers to that. I'm not sure if I know it, to be honest with you. Just something to end on, you know? The final automation paradox. Here's my data sources. Look, there's NemoClaw. It's in my sources. I just didn't put a slide about it. Oh well. Hopefully I explained it well enough. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Hopefully that gives you an overview of AI agents and how they will affect the hospitality space and the real potential with it all. And I'm excited about it. It's going to be less about taking pretty pictures and more about actually just telling your customers what you have to offer, like correctly and accurately. And if they want it, they buy it. Like down to the little, like the unbundling. I think that's what we call it. Unbundling. Is that it? Like this is massive, guys. Yeah, the unbundling. You could probably unbundle pillows. You want softer pillows? $5. People want it. It's, like these agents are going to know their users in the future. They're going to know that they want soft or firm pillows or firm mattress. And if they specify it, another $5, $10. There's so much potential here, guys. Like this is so huge. It really is. But anyway, before I ramble on too much, I'm going to end it here. I'm just getting going on YouTube. I love hotels. I love AI. I hope I find a place on here. Please email me if you have any questions or you want to talk to me. Tyler@hotel-win.com. And let's get talking. Like, work with me. I'm here to help you.